What is up, guys? How we doing? How we doing? Yes, I'm doing 3 reviews in a row. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm just trying to have a little fun and talk about some lighthearted stuff. We're going to do a football discussion tomorrow, and then I'll do a Jeremy Ramblins video the next day. We'll get back to talking about some personal things, but shabam. I got my second Steelbook. Ordered this like a month ago, whatever the day that it dropped, but didn't seem like this one was super sought after. I think it's funny, the first 2 Steelbooks I have are basically just skulls. I really want to get one of the Steelbooks, like the new Fantastic Four one. Comes with a comic, a book, and superhero cards. So, like, but those are like exclusive Steelbooks. Usually double the price. So, anyway, it comes with the digital code. If anybody wants it, comment. I'll totally give it to you. I have no use for it. So, spoiler for 28 Weeks Later. I talk about the ending of it in a minute. Badass. Glad I got to add this to my collection. But the movie itself was actually very, very divisive. And I hadn't really looked at many reviews on it because I didn't want it spoiled for me. 28 Days Later is my favorite zombie franchise. I absolutely love that first film. I used to say that the second one was better, but after rewatching them all, there's some decisions in the second one that piss me off and drop it down. So, like, there's a zombie outbreak in this city. What should we do? Let's take all civilians from their towers and stuff them like fish in a barrel in one dark room. I hope that the virus won't spread super rapidly that way. And then the whole movie is dedicated to saving this kid that ends up spreading it to Paris, and then that's how the movie ends. Upon rewatch. But the opening, though, to 28 Weeks Later is phenomenal. But we're not talking about 28 weeks later. We're talking about 28 years later. So like I said, this was a divisive movie, and after seeing it, I understand why. But you have to watch this movie knowing that this is the first movie of a trilogy. The second movie is already coming. It says January 16th, 2026. So you have to keep that in mind when watching this. So I feel like I can't give it a fair total review yet. And unlike my show reviews, I'm not going to walk you through the whole movie. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, my positives, my negatives, and how do I feel about it? Do I love it? Do I hate it? Let's get into it. So this movie is basically a coming-of-age story. It follows a boy and his father and his sick mother, and basically shows us the world that they are now in, how they've survived this long, and what growing up in this world is like, and that you hit a certain age, you go hunt, and the dad takes him for a hunt. His first hunt, things go awry, they manage to make it back, and then the boy hears about a doctor and wants to cure his sick mother. And the movie is about the journey to the doctor. The positives. I believe this was all shot on iPhone, if I remember correctly from what I've heard about it. Looks pretty damn good. The actors did pretty damn good. The opening of the movie, I feel like they were trying to recreate the opening of 28 Weeks Later. It was intense, don't get me wrong, especially considering who the victims end up being. But, yeah, they did a really good job making you live in this world where this is just how things are now, and this is how growing up in this world looks like. And I think the actors in here do a phenomenal job. I think some of the special effects are a little bit wonky, but they're fine. I think the evolution of some of the zombies are interesting. I think the scenes are very intense. That the scenes that are supposed to be intense are very well executed as being intense. The only thing that I laughed at was when the guy was dangling upside down and he was meant to jump scare you by moving all of a sudden. I knew that that was going to happen. But other than that, I mean, the scenes that are intense as shit. And so it did a really good job with that. But also, what the movie represents, I enjoy. This is a coming of age story. This isn't a zombie apocalypse, everybody's getting attacked and ate up all the time movie. This is what it's like in this world now. This is how we survive. And, you know, yeah, the action and killing takes a little bit of a back seat here. Not to say that there isn't any, because there is. And when things get graphic, they definitely get graphic. And after his first hunt, his father tells a couple lies because his son misses. They use arrows and whatnot because they don't have guns. And yeah, the father exaggerates how good the son was a little bit, and the son catches his dad cheating on his mom, which drives forward the plot. And that's where I'm gonna try to. That's all right. I love what this movie is saying. Okay, so just spoiler. We're just gonna jump to the end here. All right, he has a sick mom. I think as a viewer, you kind of know what she's suffering from. But the boy decides that because the father isn't doing anything about it and hears that there's a doctor, despite him being insane, decides that he's going to take the mom onto the mainlands and find a doctor. And he does. And she gets diagnosed with cancer. And the boy, and it's at stage 4. It's already metastasized through her body, and she's dying. And the doctor, you know, the boy thinks that there's a cure. And this is telling a story that death is inevitable. Whether it's a zombie apocalypse, whether it's cancer, we're all going to die one day. And I love that despite being in this zombie apocalypse world, that we're telling a human story that some things you can't run from. Cancer it's a bitch. There's nothing we can do. You can do all these things to survive a zombie apocalypse, but still succumb to the elements of being human. And it tells this human story in this zombie apocalypse world. This mom is dying of cancer, and the shrine of all the bones isn't like anything evil. It's meant to celebrate their lives, and I like that. I think that's beautiful. But man, I think there's so many things wrong with this. I think the second that the boy decided to take the mom on the mainlands, the outcome was predictable. She was gonna get cancer, be diagnosed with cancer, be unable to be healed. But it's such a stupid decision on the boy's part. I'm sorry, I get it. He's a little boy, you know, and he just wants to cure his mom. But he knows how risky it is, that there is no rescuing. If you go out and you get stuck, you're on your own. He knows he just missed every shot. He knows that, like, his mom is sick as shit, and realistically really wouldn't be able to make this journey. And if she was having bits of confusion, would probably be loud and an easy target for the zombies. And he doesn't know if the doctor is good or not. So this is like, yeah, he got lucky that the doctor was good, but rider's luck, you know? That, like, all these unbelievable things happened and it worked out because of rider's luck. And I don't know how else to put it other than that. The overall decision to do this in the first place, to me, is just dumb. Like, I'm not a sociopath. I get why he made that decision. He's a little boy that wants to cure his mom, but like realistically, they wouldn't have made it to the doctor. Realistically, the doctor would have been evil. This only worked because the writers wanted it to. And like a story like that, kind of takes you out of it because it's a little too unbelievable, and that isn't really the story that I was hoping we would get. And the second the boy made that decision, I knew how the movie was going to end. So, to me, as soon as he made that decision, it's like, oh, okay, this is the journey that the movie's going to be, and I don't really know how I feel about that. And it was there were some intense scenes, don't get me wrong. We meet Eric, and there's carnage and whatnot, but like I said, I do love the statement it's trying to make with this story. I just can't get over how stupid of a decision it was. Because he got lucky, man. And I don't, like, he got lucky. The doctor could have been a quack. He literally could have been screwed. This was a very risky move for him and his mom. Did it work out? Did his mom get to die a peaceful death? Was it beautiful to see him set her skull on the top of the temple facing the sunrise? Yes. Was the overall story it's trying to tell beautiful? Yes. But unfortunately, it was predictable because obviously the boy isn't going to take her onto the mainlands and she's going to get shredded apart by zombies. That's not how this movie's going to end. They're not going to do that. And that's just not the story I really wanted to go on. Now, that's me for wanting a different story. That's me being selfish there. But I can't get over how overall stupid of a decision that was. And that he lucked out. And that the doctor wasn't a quack. He got really, 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 really lucky. And it was a very dumb decision to do. And from there, you got a baby that was born by a hybrid, but I do not understand how the baby didn't become infected. This is a rage virus that spreads through blood, getting in any orifice, and it gets all in the baby's mouth and in its eyes whenever it's born. No way the baby doesn't come out infected there. And I also don't understand why the doctor just, like the hybrid who's really fast and really big, who's ripping people's spines out. Yeah, he's just doing what he has to do to survive, and the doctor may just not want to kill him because of that. But at the end of the day, just stunning him and getting away and then him being a threat later, that's dumb. If he's going to keep attacking you, you should just kill him. Anyway, I do think as far as how it's executed was well. Like, the story they tried to tell, they told it well. The filming was done well. The gore, whenever it was there, was done well. The filmmaking was great. The world that we dived into and really making us believe that we're in this world, love it. So I am definitely interested in the next one, and I do think this trilogy will make this first one better. Once we have the complete picture, because that's what this feels like, is an incomplete project, so it's hard to review. I'm sitting here saying how I would have preferred a different story, but after seeing the other two, I'll probably enjoy watching all three of them together. But as a standalone movie, yeah, I'm pretty split on this. Like I said, it was a very stupid decision from the boy. It worked out in the end, but very dumb. And I just don't see it realistically. You have grown up in this world where you got to be so careful. and there's zombies around, death at every corner. It, like, I just don't believe he would have done that, made that decision, and I don't believe the mom would have made the journey. I don't believe that, and him deciding to stay on the mainlands after successfully, after the mom gets put to rest and he brings the baby back. Like, I hope the twist isn't that the baby is actually infected and it attacks the village. But anyway, his decision to stay on the mainlands is interesting. I really wanted to see Aaron Taylor Johnson kick some ass versus zombies, and that's what I thought we were getting. And look, I'm not sitting here saying, brain cells are dead, I need constant action. It's just, we've waited years for this. This is my favorite zombie franchise. Am I glad we got something deeper than zombies just tearing people apart story? Yes, and I love what the movie said. It's just, you're either going to be on board with him making that decision or not, and I think looking at things through a realistic lens, it was a stupid decision. It worked out for him, but got very, very lucky, and once he decided, like I said, to make this journey, it got predictable to me. It's like, okay, so he's going to find the doctor's going to be good. It's going to be cancer. She's going to die. That's what's going to happen. And that's exactly what happened. So, while still beautiful, I don't know. I wish we got another story. Now, as I said, it's an incomplete thing. It'll probably flow better into the other two movies. But I can see why this is so divisive. It's got an 88% from critics. Critics, man. I don't understand critics. A movie can be... I'm a critic. I'm one of those people that looks at writing and hyper-analyzes everything, man. And I just, always disagree with the critics. I don't know what it is about them. Midsommar is the best movie ever. If anything is ever slow, boring, and shitty, the critics just fucking pan it. And if a movie's ever actually good, like Hardcore Henry, for example, amazing movie. Amazing. Love Hardcore Henry. Filmed on a GoPro. Bloody as shit. Does it have a lot of substance to it? Not really, but fucking A, is it fun to watch. And is that not the whole point of cinema? Writing can have its flaws and a movie still be fun to watch. And the way Hardcore Henry was filmed and everything that went into it, yeah, amazing movie. Critics hate it. Get over yourselves, you snooty motherfuckers. This movie isn't, thinking outside the box or, I don't know. It's definitely not a 90% movie. Yeah. Those are just my honest, raw thoughts. If you loved the movie, awesome. I think that's great. If you hated the movie, I can understand. But critically, in 88, if I can predict half the movie, it's not an 88, no matter how well it's executed. And when the movie is based on a really stupid decision that just ends up working out because the writers wanted it to, but realistically probably wouldn't have, it's not an 88. How will it fit into the trilogy? We'll see. But as a standalone movie, and even once the trilogy is complete, I guarantee those movies will make this movie better, but still a movie on its own, it'll probably be the one that I look forward to rewatching the least. So, I don't mind that we're going on this journey and learning about the mainland and exploring this world. I love that that's the setup, that's the ending, and the end, he runs into the... I even forgot to tell you about the end. The end, he runs into this gang led by the vampire in Sinners. Don't know the actor's name, but he did such a good job in Sinners. And yeah, I like that setup, and now Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to have to go and rescue his son. But again, as soon as he decided to take his mom, I knew where this was going to go. and just, yeah, I mean, the evolution of the zombies, the hybrids and whatnot, I enjoy that. I enjoy everything about this. Like, this is a good movie. It's a well-made movie. This isn't a bad movie. I'm not talking shit and saying that I hate this movie or I think it sucks or that it's spits on the franchise. It just disappointed is all. It's still good. The intense scenes were very intense. It's hard to get me into an intense scene anymore. But they executed the intensity of the scenes very well. They executed the emotion of what they were trying to say very well. But when it's predictable, like, I'm not spitting on this movie. I don't hate it, and I recognize that it's incomplete. But yeah, as a standalone movie, the second that's where I found out the journey was going, I just kind of was like, okay, I don't really care for that. Like, what it's trying to say, you can't run from death. Even in a world where you manage to survive in a zombie apocalypse, you can still die from cancer. I love that. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm really mixed on this one. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's something you should avoid or that it's an awful movie. I think it is a very well-made movie, actually. I just, we've waited all these years. But, again, this is a movie that I do think is going to be made better by its predecessors. We have an incomplete story, so got to keep that in mind. Also, In a House in a Heartbeat was not in this. The score that John Murphy made for the first 2 films, I don't even know if John Murphy was a part of this one, but In a House in a Heartbeat, here, let me see if I can play it real quick without getting copyrighted. So that's kind of like the movie's, I wouldn't say theme song, but yeah, in the first 2 movies when, anything gets intense, that's the song. That wasn't in here. That was kind of disappointing. I hope it ends up being in one of the next 2 movies. That's a small nitpick that maybe other people won't give a shit about, but I loved that about these movies. I loved the score of these movies. And the score of this one was okay. Anyway, yeah, those are my thoughts, man. I'm glad I own it. I'm glad I got the steelbook of it, and I'm excited about the rest of it. Like, this absolutely didn't deter me from wanting to watch the trilogy. And I don't think, like, it's a movie that spits on the franchise or anything. It's just, I wish we got something different. I can see why it's so divisive, and so that's what I have to say about it. I do like it. Like, I don't hate it. I just don't love it and was disappointed by it. This was my most anticipated movie of the year. Over Weapons, over Together. I really was excited for this because I love 28 Days Later. Love 28 Weeks Later. 28 Weeks Later pisses me off now that I'm rewatching it, but still, 2 great zombie movies. Introduced the very intense, scary, fucking rabid, running, sprinting zombies, and, yeah. That's my thoughts. I give it a 3 out of 5. I can see why it's so divisive. It's got an 88% by critics, but it's got I think 64% from the audience. Very split. I don't hate it. I don't love it. We still have 2 more movies to watch that I do think will make it better. I do like the overall plot. I think it was made well. I just wish that the story that we got wasn't the story that we got. Anyways, yeah, I didn't think this one was going to be so hard to review. It's really difficult. But overall thoughts are positive, I disappointed, yes, but overall thoughts are positive. I do think the movie will be made better once the trilogy is complete and their whole vision is realized, and what they set up, I'm definitely looking forward to. So, not spitting on it at all, but it's just right there in the middle for me. This isn't something that I, would put on every year to rewatch. And it has nothing on the first one. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. And yeah, see you tomorrow.